Here, continue.
I gotta start over. All right, we're gonna use this land. Okay. So, in comparison to a woman, so this land, this little piece right here, let's just say that it's being cultivated for a specific use, a specific plant or tree, and it's been cultivated specifically for this particular purpose, right? So we can't add anything with the tree or plant that you're planting, and you can't taint it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, but you got to take care of it. You know what I mean? And so when you finally put whatever designated plant in that land, I believe the Most High is like He built the woman like land.
Okay.
Think about it. If you put too many seeds in the same part of land, the land is useless because it won't.
Or the roots can get choked up.
Roots get choked up. I mean, just everything from germination. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You get hybrids. You know what I'm saying? You just, some plants will grow without any fruit. You know, it's just, but when you put in this land a specific plant or tree, you know what I'm saying? It flourishes.
Right.
It's blessed. And it's like, because the land was prepared for it. I mean, attention's paid to it, the whole nine. The downside to that is when you have to uproot all that.
It's never the same again.
It's never the same. When you have a tree, people worry about just the roots. But trees sometimes have what is called a taproot. A taproot is what wraps around rock underneath the earth. So when you pull up this tree, some of the roots are still on the tap rock. So you have to actually go down and dig the tap rock out. And it's a bigger hole than what you thought it was going to be. So you see this tree, like, oh, its roots shouldn't be that bad.
Right.
But many women love deeply. You see what I'm saying? And when they're heartbroken, it's almost like pulling the taproot out their life. That is like, that is
the thing that makes them sturdy.
Yeah, that essence
gives them extra security.
That's the root. That's where the real nutrients come from. Because the deeper in the earth you get, the more roots, the more nutrients you get.
Right.
So a divorce or betrayal is like pulling the taproot out of somebody's heart. And women, because they do things from their heart more, to me, I believe, more than men. That's an expression. They do it from their heart, babe. You know what I'm saying? And when their heart is ripped out, it does something to a woman.
Yeah.
It's like they're not really ever, not saying that they're no longer good. I'm saying they're never that original land again.
Right. It's not like it was before.
It's not like it was before.
Yeah.
So in order to repair land has to go through cycles. So land knows how to heal itself.
Right.
Okay. But it takes so much time. You know what I'm saying? By the time sometimes land heal, so much time has passed to where that hole that was there, different things have gotten into the hole. Right. And then new dirt covers it. You get it? To where on the surface it's grass and looks normal, but underneath it, there's some stuff in there that can never grow again. It can grow, but it won't be like that original land growth. You know what I'm saying? Because what was there originally was so pure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was so delicate and so natural. You know what I mean? But when you put a hole in something, it can get contaminated. You know what I'm saying? Eroded. It got all kind of different things that was not there before. And so when I seen that video of our sisters, like, it seems like that a hole got pulled away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it's like, and when that happens, there's a glaze over your eyes now. It's like you look through life with a new glaze. You know what I'm saying? And that part of the land isn't as solid as the other parts.
Right.
You know, it's almost like, man, you put your foot down a little bit, you feel a little
Sinkage.
Yeah, a little sinkage, a little bit. I mean, you're not going nowhere, but it's like, how come this part ain't as
sturdy?
Solid as what happened? What happened over here? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know it's pretty and everything, but you know, the flowers isn't growing as much over here. Matter of fact, there's some weeds over here. Okay, remember we put the pot over here? That grass haven't been the same right there, right?
Right.
But look what's growing right there. You got weeds.
Right.
And dead grass. Now, we can stand over there, but when you look at it, you can tell something happened to it.
Right.
Now, can we go and lay some sod down? Yeah, we can lay some grass. If we throw some seeds over there, grass will grow. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. But it don't take away the fact.
Yeah, you can tell something
happened.
Right.
So I'm saying that to say, like, I've noticed in my life that, you know, with family members and people that I just personally know, I'm like, now I'm not saying this doesn't happen to men, okay, because we do have tap roots that's been pulled out of us. You know what I'm saying? But we're built different.
Yeah, you guys.
We're built different because here's the thing: women are built to receive. No matter what sexuality women try to jump into,
right?
You still built to receive. Literally, you literally got.
That's true.
You got the nutrients to receive. You got the mindset to receive. Look, you got the sexuality to receive. You got the mentality to receive.
The DNA makeup.
Yeah. So, a woman losing something compared to a man losing something, the mentality could be a little different.
Yeah.
Men will most likely feel offended. You feel me? Women actually feel a piece of them gone.
Yeah.
In a certain way. It's like, okay.
Like you chopped off something.
Something chopped off.
Yeah.
Men can feel like that, but it's not as much. We're more like feel offended because we feel more men feel more violated. You know what I'm saying? Because one, we didn't want to let our guard down, and we did. You know what I'm saying? Two, we want to fight, but we can't. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we're more mad than anything.
Right.
Women, because their feelings are there, it's really something in them that, depending upon who this person was and how deep the love was, it could really damage them. Now, here's the flip side to that. Some women, I believe, once that taproot is pulled out, they're so in shock that it allows that hole to be corroded with all that stuff, right? But then there's some women that are so strong. They find this inner strength that they allow themselves to focus on this hole and to try to make do with it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I need to put some of this dirt that I have from on the inside and fill in this hole the best I can. Yes, it may lower my level. I may not be level with the other. Yeah, I may not be that, but at least I'm healed. You know what I'm saying? Because you can cover up dirt, but are you going to put new stuff that you don't know what's in it, or just make do with the stuff that you still have natural in you? Right. Like, okay, this happened in my life. It's setting me down or setting me back, right? I'm going to go ahead and just focus on this. Right. However long it take. I'm not going to try to fill it with other stuff just so I can be level with everybody else. Right. I'm going to go ahead and come down here and do this, because what was on the inside of me is so important. I gotta salvage it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I just had that thought. Yeah, I can see that. I could see that. Like, I could see that in experience. Like, what happened to my mom when I was little, you know? And I can tell, like, I never met my mom prior to her nervous breakdown. So I don't know how she was, but my older sister remembers prior to that. And so I can see that concept, like, really does apply.
you know,
Yeah.
and
As
when
far as which one?
just like the taproot situation.
Mhm.
And the unfortunate part is when she put her heart out there again to try to latch onto the rock again,
Yeah.
something re-snatched it,
Mhm.
snatched the root back off of it. So it damaged it even more. And so she kept having
It takes a lot out.
yeah, she kept having um, nervous breakdowns and mental breakdowns. And
Yeah.
so I will never ever know what my mom was like ever before that time.
Original.
That original. I could never see what her true essence was.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, her surface, her natural surface is, you know, she still has love, but I think what happened was she shifted her love, or she focused her love on her children.
Yeah.
And
what was left over.
And what was left over. She
Wow.
still had love, but she focused it elsewhere.
Uh-huh.
As or for a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
So it caused her to not be as loving towards another man. Not to say that
there's no love.
She doesn't have any love, but she never loved like that again. Or she knew not to. Because whatever that snatching, whatever caused the emptiness, she's like, no, I'm done. You know, because first she had my sister's father, who unfortunately, you know, passed away or killed himself in front of them. And then she tried to remarry or go through a whole nother relationship, had 2 children with my dad, and then he treats her that way. And that just ripped her heart out.
Yeah.
You know, and so after that, you know, she's like, I'm going to pull myself up the best way I can by my bootstraps. But still, she probably didn't really get over the first initial root snatch,
that first snatch
with her husband, you know. And so I remember my dad talking about what signs he saw with her.
Yeah.
Working and not wanting to go to work. And I wouldn't say not wanting to go to work, but things changed, like with her employer, just like stuff started to slowly dwindle away.
Is this seeping away?
Yeah. And
there's like a hole somewhere.
Yeah, the hole, you could see maybe the ground was just sinking in just a little bit. And
that's something else.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't stay to help. You know, I believe that if he would have tried, my mom, I would say, would have been able to cope better, or she would have been recovered. Like if he would have tried and said, you know what, my mistake, I'm sorry.
Let's do
let's do it. Let's try. My mom would have been fine.
Yeah, been fine.
Only because that was the love that she was focused on. Yeah. Like a tree of love was there.
It pulled away.
Yeah.
So here's my question. Well, a statement to that. Basically, so if we look at the backyard, you notice how this dips and curves?
Mm-hmm.
If this reminds me of women. The ground is solid though.
But it's uneven.
It's uneven.
Right.
And what's happening with a lot of women, they compare each other by the divots, but they don't see each other as one equal land. Look, this whole land is solid.
Right.
And together it will serve a purpose.
Right.
But women have a tendency to look and compare themselves based off the divots and who's higher and who's lower, and who's sinking, who's not.
Yeah.
Who's a virgin, who's not, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't see the whole entire yard.
That's good. Yeah.
You know, and I think that that's something that we should probably consider discussing, because it's like, I believe we need to let our women know that they have a purpose.
Yeah, as one body.
As one body, as an individual, and as one body, because I think what's happening is that there's not enough healing with the women. Mm-hmm. Now, I can speak for men, of course, but I'm looking on the outside, though. Mm-hmm. Speaking from my mom, your mom, sisters, cousins, relatives, family, friends, people we knew. You know what I mean? It's like something happened.
Yeah.
Because I have a tendency to see, well, I'm noticing that there is more of a tendency with women with the inability to really bounce back to the purpose when, not saying that they can't, but the likelihood of them really strongly bouncing back by themselves is almost improbable. Not saying that they can't, and some haven't, but having that soulmate male, it multiplies your chances.
Yeah.
Because that male can see, like, okay, here are the areas.
Right.
Shoot, let me get some dirt.
Right.
Let me get this land tight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we want, you know what I mean?
He's the gardener.
Yeah, he's the gardener.
Right.
Like, you know what? Let me build this up. Because who else gonna do it?
Right.
Who else gonna do it? The person who does it before the husband is the father. And if the father didn't help the daughter or the mom, that next male got to come in and help it. Like,
and that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, and you know what? Some holes though. A lot of these women don't want you to touch.
That's true.
They've already replaced it with
whatever they wanted.
Yeah, they
put in there.
Baby, this is a big topic.
Yeah.
They replaced it with vanity. They replaced it with sex.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is me now.
Right.
And I can testify, really, I don't know people personally that replaced it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You think the person's solid, and you with them, and you realize that level land, underneath that, there was a tap root that never got fixed right. Now you planted your seed.
Right on top of it.
In poisoned land.
Wow. Well, that's, I mean.
You feel me?
Yeah, I can see, like, I guess, and you know, I'm a woman. I've loved deep before, you know, and.
You love deep now too, right?
Yeah, of course.
That
situation doesn't apply to me right now. What I'm saying is.
Before,
I'm saying before you. Hello.
Hello.
You know, that's one of the things I think I had to step back and look at myself and just marvel, because I never understood like how I was so strong. But I remember I always would say when I was little, because I knew even as a child, like young, dealing with my mother's situation, and I understood the reason why my mom was like that. I knew it was because of love from a broken relationship. Like, my mom loves way too hard.
Yeah.
And I told myself, I said, I don't want to be like her. Not to say she's not a good woman. No, like I love her woman, like how she's classy and she's, you know, very virtuous. Like, not saying that part, but like as far as her heart, right. I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to be destroyed because I accidentally gave someone a chance or too many chances, and now I'm just not myself again, you know? And so I always hung on to that, even in my relationships. It was always a reminder, like, but still I loved, you know, and love was lost. But I said, you know, what would help me? What would help me to stay out of harm's way with that? Like, what would help me? And so what I would always
like guarding your heart,
remember, in scripture, I always would remember how the Most High said, don't ever put your trust in man, and don't ever love someone more than you love me, pretty much. And so my foundation in relationships have always been, if I love Yah the most, like if I love Yah above everything, my children, my relationship, my finances, whatever, if I focus my love on that, I know he'll never let me down. Yeah. Like, I won't lose him. I can't lose him unless I walk away. Yeah. And so when I was having difficult situations happen in my life and relationships, yes, it hurt, but it wasn't devastating
Yeah.
because I was like, and then there's another thing, another scripture that I used to always focus on and think about, like I said, think like nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
You know, nothing lasts forever except His word. So it can't leave nowhere. It has me. And so I'm like, okay. And like in our relationship, heck yes, I love you. I love you more than I've ever loved anybody in my relationship.
Right.
But at the same time, I have to be wise enough to love you enough to be okay to let you go if something happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to hold back my love from you, no.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put my faith in the Most High and say, you know what, y'all, any day something could happen to my husband. Something could definitely happen. I have to be strong enough and I have to be focused enough to be able to first, if something happens, I need to take care of this man. I need to take care of him and not walk away, you know? Or what if something crazy happens? You know? What if? Not saying that you'll cheat on me, but what if that happens? What would that look like for me?
Right.
You know? And so I don't think about that, but I know that Yah has never done me wrong. Like, I have never not been able to ask Him for something or pray really sincerely about something and Him not come through, you know? And so when I was going through my relationships and learning about relationships, first of all, because you don't know everything, you know, and you don't pay attention to those flags and you don't even probably know how to be in a relationship really because you're going through experience, you know. And first I couldn't rely back on my mom because I couldn't ask her stuff about relationships because those were touchy things, like that divot, those were touchy holes, you know. I don't want to hear about that, you know. But needless to say, it's not that she didn't explain something to me. She explained marriage, you know, and that's all she would ever talk about. She wouldn't say boyfriend stuff. When you are married, this is what you do.
Yeah.
You walk away, you cleave to your husband. That home is your home. No more mommy, no more us. You know, you come by, visit, but that man is going to be the one that you are going to have to cater to. Yeah. You're going to have to pay attention to. You're building something with that person. Yeah. So she told me that much, but I remember when I was going through my relationship too. And my mom noticed stuff before I did. And she would tell me, now be careful because if X, Y, and Z happens, I'm going to need you to come back home. Yeah. And she knew it. And in that knowing, and in that warning to me, I could tell that was my essence. That was my mom I never met. Right. So
that piece of her came out of there.
It would be glimpses of her.
Right. She knew that part.
Up with relationship situations. Or just like certain situations, she would come back and I'm like, that's her. Yeah, like, that's her. That's my mom. You know, not saying that she was never consistent in providing advice. Right. But I feel like,
advice was something deeper.
Yeah, I feel like if that advice was consistent throughout my life with school, with just like having a more, I won't say our house wasn't stable, but the rules were very loose at home. However, you don't disrespect her. It wasn't that loose, but, you know, I would have liked to be in an environment that was more stable as far as, no, I said this, you come home, you do this, you do that, blah, blah, blah. She would only do that every now and again when she felt I was in danger. Yeah. And so I can see that those touchy spots you can tell, it's like, ouch, what? You know, no, X, Y, and Z is about to happen. I don't care, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am, all right, okay. But her situation, I walked away from a 9+ year relationship with ease. I mean, it was, I wouldn't say super easy, but I had no thought to think back. And remember I told you about all that Yah was telling me before I left? Yeah. My grandmother prophesied over it. I always knew that relationship wasn't going to last. But then I'm like, I was Christian, didn't understand spiritual stuff, so I'm thinking I could change the situation.
Me too.
Yeah, no one gave me that advice, and so I'm thinking, no, me and this guy's going to be married. He didn't show no different, you know. It's like, but they seen it, and so I never, I could never imagine that day. Like I wasn't thinking about that day. Like what'll happen when it comes. Like what is it going to look like? That's not the preparedness I was. I was only prepared to listen to the voice of the Most High. And when I heard it, I knew I would. I knew if I heard it, I would know what it was, and that I will listen to it. And so that's what allowed me when y'all said move. Go to first. He said, go check this mailbox. I'm hundreds of miles away from home. No family member there. Graduating, being evicted in the process. My son is just me and my son out there. He's in high school. He got everything going for him. And you mean to tell me y'all sends me something, some check in the mail. I had no job, no nothing. And the IRS, oops, sorry, we made a mistake, and sent me thousands of dollars. He says, I want you to take this money and move and leave, go home.
Goodness gracious.
And had I not listened, if I would have not listened, that
hole would have got deep.
So yes, and that's what I mean by putting Yah first. You have to put him first. You have to trust him, because believe me, had I not listened, and I was still, if I would have still been in that relationship, I would have been so miserable.
Hey, something would have happened.
It would have definitely happened.
For real.
You know? And so
for real.
It's
for real.
It's just, that's what I would tell someone that's going through, you know, just something. I know a lot of women do. They love hard, and they're nurturing, and you know, they feel like they're very territorial. You know, That's the thing. Like we're very territorial. We don't want something hurting something. We don't want something taking something. We don't want something treating us mean, or we can get over that part. We can deal with that part, because we're gonna love you anyway. But as far as something being gone, and we have an imagination of what our future looks like, and then that future is just completely ripped away from us, and it wasn't like any thought that we ever had thought, that is devastating.
It is.
You know, that could make or break you. But I know that the reason why I was strong was that my mother went before me, and me being young and wise enough to see how to judge between these righteous things and things that weren't. Like, okay, mom, if I could tell my mom as a woman, if I met my mom as a woman at that age she was, and if I was her friend, I would have tried to wrap her up in scripture and try to get her to see what things, you know,
to strengthen her.
What things could strengthen her, because you cannot put man before the Elohim.
No, you can't.
He gets jealous. He's jealous. He'll snatch that away from you.
Yeah.
You know? And that's another thought that I thought. He's jealous.
Yeah.
How dare, and I used to think that about my son. Like, shoot, you know, I don't want to compromise. I don't want to be like super soft and with him, because he could take him away, you know?
Sure.
And what that looks like is, oh no, honey, you could have everything. You could do this, you can do that. Never disciplining him, never doing nothing. And then he grows up and he does something bad and somebody takes him away. Y'all would allow that.
He would.
You know, and I'm like, I understood how stuff would happen. Yeah. And so it's just out of the respect of who the creator is, and knowing, like, this is what the scriptures say about it, I'm going to always keep this in the back of my mind. And I'm going to be solid if I trust and believe and have faith in this.
Yeah.
And with that said, when you have faith in something like that, your faith can move any mountain. I didn't have to worry about that mountain when that time came. Yeah. I just moved it out the way.
Yeah, it's like trying to move.
Yeah. And it was cool. Yeah, I was like, no, you're human. You have feelings. You're going to deal with it.
Yeah.
But focus on me because I'm
Right.
going to get you past this.
That's right.
You know, and so it was like it never happened.
You know, it's funny you say that because it's like, there's two ways you can move on.
Mm-hmm.
You can move on and act like nothing ever happened.
Right.
Or you can move on because nothing happened.
Right. That's good.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's where the trickery comes in, because in a society of our people who are trying to, you know, men broken hearts, we're trying to bounce back, we're trying to, you know, get back on top, you know what I'm saying, and recover from broken hearts and all this and that. We're trying,
Right.
but we don't know the next step in the ground.
Right.
Men especially, and women. I know women too, but women have more of a discernment than men.
Mm-hmm.
To me, women already know what kind of dude they're getting with.
Right.
They got this intuition. I mean, not saying the guy is dishonest. I mean, I'm not saying that he is like this, you know, who's hiding everything. Women have a discernment.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of men don't have.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. We're more just surface. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Until we get in, you know. But men men are afraid because they don't know which ground to step on.
Mm-hmm.
And they've had enough experience in their life dealing with their mom, relationships, to where they thought the ground was good.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so much toxicity underneath the ground
Mm-hmm.
that they're like, I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? I'd rather try to pluck from the top of the land
Mm-hmm.
instead of investing in the land.
Mm-hmm.
So these men are plucking flowers and leaving roots.
Mm-hmm.
You get it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you plucking the flower, but it's more to this flower or this tree.
You have the whole plant.
It's the whole area,
Yeah.
you know. So these women are feeling violated
Mm-hmm.
because their flowers have been plucked away.
Oh wow.
That's deep, babe.
Yeah.
So now these men are trying to step. They're afraid to step,
Mm-hmm.
but they rather pluck.
But they see something pretty.
They see something pretty.
Yeah.
But that pretty don't mean that underneath that earth is good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so,
well, that's wise that they understand that, though.
yeah, but it's a contrary though. Why pluck a flower
Mm-hmm.
when you don't want the land?
Right.
So what I'm trying to show is that there's a reason why a lot of men are the way they are, and I'm not blaming women.
Right.
I'm saying that it's an entire situation of the garden.
Right.
Of the garden.
Right.
Because it's man's job to till the ground, right?
Right.
So if he's tilling the ground, he's not plucking flowers. He is investing the time to figure out what's going on underneath the earth. And whether it's toxic or solid,
Mm-hmm.
it's man's job. It's man's job to fix the land.
Yeah, to repair it.
We gotta repair the land. And a lot of our women...
Especially when the woman can't.
The women can't do it.
You know?
The women, and I'm not saying that they don't have strength no. You can... This is something...
They'll repair it the best way they know how.
The best way they know how.
Yeah.
And that's going to be it. They're going to ride that ship out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Unless, I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
the right man come around, he's a gardener. Oh, no, we about to change some stuff around here.
Yeah. Change his whole landscape up.
We about to change this. Oh,
right.
This happened to you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? So this is what's going on in your life? Well, baby, you and me, we about to go ahead and...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you see the value of this woman. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so no one's... Okay. All right.
Right.
Cool. No. The Most High made me a gardener.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've sown my seed in bad ground before.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what bad ground look like, and that's not cheating. You know
right.
what I mean? Like,
right.
you good ground.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shoot, I don't understand. Yeah, I understand your flower, but shoot, your land is where the nutrients are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what grows forever. That's what helps other people. That ground is what is blessing all your people around you.
And I remember,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true. I remember when our very first little chat came on Facebook. Remember what you told me? You was like, I see gifts. You have many gifts or something you said about me. You said, no, you said, I see you have something inside of you that
Mm.
it is big and it needs to come out, or something you said like
Yeah,
that. And
that's something.
yeah, and it's so funny because even me, like, even in those relationships, I don't think that I got uprooted by that, whatever,
Taproot.
that taproot. I don't think that's ever happened to me.
Right. I don't think so either.
I think
You'll be damaged
yeah,
goods.
I think I've gotten uprooted, but I grew, I'm able to grow back.
Yeah.
But there was definitely maybe like a whole branch. You know how people cut their trees down in the summer or whatever so the leaves won't, grow and mess up their yard. I think something like that happened as far as the metaphor in love with me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I got to chop all these pretty flowers off, or one side won't grow because of X, Y, and Z. So you can see, like, oh, it's beautiful. It's got so much potential, but there's a little bit of weeds over here, or things that have never been planted,
right.
or, oh, it'd be nice if we put some, some rock over here and some this over there. And then that's how, when you're like, what, you never had X, Y, and Z happen to you, or no one's ever done this, and blah, I was like, no,
Yeah.
But that did not mean that, like you said, you can tell I was good ground, and I was just waiting on the correct gardener, but I was keeping myself. I was keeping myself growing
that's real good.
and healthy enough to be able to receive all the fertilizer and all of the work, and and take it in and receive it and do something with it. Like, okay, you want to plant that, or you want to do this? Okay, I'm gonna make it grow. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna nourish it enough, and your work is not gonna be done in vain on this land, versus someone that's broken or that's been uprooted and the land's kind of, like, okay, well, thanks for giving that to me, but I don't even feel like making this grow right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's about to grow, but not as big. Or, it'll grow, and then I'm like, some of our plants, like half of that plant, that flower over there, the red one, half the side of it grows, but then the other side is not growing anymore. And it's like they're not willing to, like, I'll let it grow a little bit. The leaves is not as big as it could be, and so it's just sitting there. You can tell it's pretty. It's in a pretty pot.
Right.
Everything looks nice. It's like, man, if you grew, man, this will just compliment you even more.
Right.
But it's not happening.
So you know how I feel about you?
How do you feel about me?
That's how I feel about you. So remember when we bought this plant?
Mm-hmm.
And it was in that little small pot.
It was so small.
Over there in the corner?
Yes.
That's how I feel about you. I was like, this woman needs to be in a wheelbarrow. I mean, or a wine barrel.
When I was in a little pot.
And you were okay.
Yeah.
But how could something so beautiful and so impactful that can take the sun, that can take in a lot of water, and can provide shade for so many people and prosper 10 times more. So I was like, if I could just help build a bigger pot, you know what I'm saying? Because she's grateful and thankful for where she is right here in the corner. Out of everybody white. Growing your leaves, how you grow it, and your flowers, how you grow it. But that's not it. So I'm like, this plant can't die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I got to make sure that it has its water, and we replanted it once and then twice, you know what I mean? And put it in a spot to where all can see, you know what I'm saying? And it's the most beautiful thing we have in our garden.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you didn't neglect it.
No neglect. And when things attacked it, when it did get sick.
Yeah, when it got sick.
Took care of it.
We took care of it.
You know what I'm saying?
In an organic way.
In an organic way.
To make sure that we didn't mess up any of the branches or. Yeah, and now it's.
So that's how.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
And it's something that, we pay attention to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that what we should probably do with the series is we really got to deal with men and women. Because I thought about that today, because I'm like, we see a lot of that, man. It's a lot of uneven ground.
It's so uneven. It's choppy. It's
You know
like
what I mean?
it's just
If we seen the field and it was so uneven, you don't even want to walk
you don't
across
want
that
to walk
field.
on it. You can't see any potential.
No. When we played tag and football coming up, we didn't play on a raggedy looking field. We wanted to play in the grass where
Yeah,
everything was
nice,
cool.
fluffy.
Like nobody want to walk over there.
Mm-mm.
You trying to like no too many divots. And if you did play on an area that had, you knew exactly where the holes were.
Right.
Like don't run over there because it's a hole over there. And I know
Right.
plenty of times I was running and I fell in the daggone hole, jacked my
Yeah.
leg up. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But that's how it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember for me is that had a man been a gardener in my life,
Mm-hmm.
I would have known land better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey son, I know what it looked like on the surface,
Right.
but here are the signs,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Because some of the most beautiful flowers are poisonous.
Yeah.
The most beautiful flowers,
Yeah.
some of the most beautiful fruit
Yeah.
are poisonous.
Yeah.
Don't eat of this fruit, son.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You want to check the land first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? See
Or
if an
don't
animal,
even go
see if a bird
over in
eat
that
from that.
part of the garden.
Right? Does a
You
bird
ain't-
eat
yeah.
from that?
Right.
You know, there's the things that are even not even you.
Right.
What comes around it? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
There's weeds growing around it. You don't see. You so stuck on the flowers.
Yeah.
That stuff right there. That's what got a lot of men flower shy.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just taste that pet off and go about my way.
Right.
Like a crow. A crow will eat anything.
Right.
You feel me? Destroy everything.
Yeah. And it stops it from growing.
Stop them.
Yeah.
And you like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No limits.
Yeah.
A lot of these men are crows.
Yeah. That's,
A lot of these men are crows. And some of these women are crows and poisonous flowers.
That's it.
That's deep, babe. I need to write that down, man. Crows and poisonous
Crows
flowers.
and
They're flying
poisonous
around and see whatever
flowers.
they can eat. Put their mouth on anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Crows, they sit on your roof. They look like crows, man. And these poisonous
Wait.
flowers got bad roots and everything else. It's like,
Man, I met a crow. Crow.
wow.
That was a crow.
Ooh.
Very much so. But you know what? Oh, man. I just thank the Most High because that situation, I think at that time, I had gone through enough to know better. But see, and that's the thing. I still wanted to help after that. After that breakup, I still wanted to help somebody, and there was someone on a hunt that I would have never thought would have been hunting me, and I allowed this person to get close to me. And they tried to destroy me. When I tell you they tried to destroy me,
Mm-hmm.
they tried to destroy me. But again, the Most High was like, no, not this one.
Not this one.
Not this one.
It's just not the one.
This is not the
This is
one.
a protected garden.
I sent her home not to be destroyed. You won't destroy her.
Yeah.
And this is going to come back on your head. And believe me, that situation, I don't even know what kind of assignment y'all have me on with that situation. But again, I wasn't tripping off of him.
Mm.
You know? I'm like, what the heck am I doing in another relationship in the first
Right.
place?
He shouldn't
You know?
be touching your flowers in the first
Right.
place.
And I kept telling him, I'm not interested in a relationship. I wanted company, you know?
Yeah. But even that,
But even that,
it probably
like,
wasn't even company. It was
Yeah.
just something. You
I
know what I
just
mean?
wanted to be around somebody,
Yeah.
you know? And then it accidentally forms into this thing. And it's like, I never meant for this to be like this anyway. And it was just so weird. Like, I used to tell him, like, I don't love you. Like, I don't want to be in this relationship. Like, I'll help you still because you're broke and you need help. And I was still willing to give and to help in that state.
But you had to learn.
But I had, and y'all's like, when I just popped my hands, like, I
Yeah.
tell what, stop, see what is going on. But see, that person was the most religious or Christian person I had ever had a relationship with. And I thought that was safe, but he was the worst one. He was like the devil. I tell you, he was like the devil.
The devil.
It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy too? Is that so that emptiness we talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Men, the worst woman you could ever meet is an empty woman.
Mm-hmm.
Not say worse, I'll say be careful of meeting empty women. Because they will fill up on anything. Baby, listen to me very carefully. Empty women, taproot. Something happened.
Right.
Remember how I said stuff fill that hole?
Right.
If a man meet a woman at that time, she's open. Okay?
Yeah.
Take it. You can do whatever you want with me right now.
Oh, he was so trying to, because he would always say, why don't you love me? Like, he used to want me.
How come
to
you're not open?
Yeah, he wanted, and he would always say things like that. How come you won't let me, like, basically he would say, how come you won't let me close to you, close to your heart? Where's that foundation? What's keeping you strong? And I'd be like, I just don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
You know?
And
he was trying to find it, to uproot me, to mess my mind up.
He was trying to do to you what happened to your mom, baby.
Yeah, I know.
And guess what? He knew about your mom.
Yeah, he did. He knows my whole family.
He thought that was in you.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could just
mess her mind up.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what?
See the disrespect?
I see disrespect, but I see also strength too. I see the fact that there was something that you held on to say when you were a kid. Remember you was a kid? You said, one thing I'm not gonna be is like this.
Yeah.
That never left. Because that means you knew I may have went this far, but I'm not going
that far.
I just can't go that far. I've already set that up since I was 6.
Right.
You don't know that about me because you just like my flowers. So this part you can't even get in because you ain't supposed to be in my garden anyway. You ain't even supposed to even be in my garden. And I got to figure out how to kick you out the garden.
Right. And me speaking that out of an innocent child heart, y'all watched over that.
He watched over it. He knew that was going to keep you.
This is the very thing that's going to keep you strong.
Right.
Because you see it. And you know better.
Right. And
you know not to allow something to be so close to you to where I can't even get in there.
Right. And that's when the pull away. That's where the strength happened.
That's the thing that keeps you.
And so a single man, so when I was entering into my singleness, or about singleness, I've seen a lot of gardens. That's scary. It's scary when you go to a garden and see nothing but weeds. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you had bad crops. I ain't gonna say bad crops. I would say when the soil you've invested in turns rotten. Because my hope was to plant my seed in good ground to multiply the crop. But when someone tells you, okay, you can no longer invest into this, so you've bought this land, you ready to, you're expecting this much of a harvest.
Right.
And as a man and as a gardener, we're looking at that next harvest.
Right.
So I'm thinking I'm about to have a harvest this size, but there's a change in the contract that I didn't know about.
Right.
Oh, you cannot have this much harvest. That really messed me up, babe. Or you had this much crop and one got taken away without your permission. You know what I'm saying? that messes a brother up. And so when he's looking for a new garden, he's still trying to think about his multiplication.
Right.
That never leaves a man.
Mm.
It never leaves a man. And
Yeah.
it's part of the things that when he does find good ground, he never stopped thinking about multiplying. Because what's the sense of a good ground
Right.
if your seed don't multiply?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that I think men deal with that they don't talk about.
Yeah.
And it's something that women need to understand too. Like, men deal with these. It's a natural thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not based off of if you just don't want to do something. It's like, okay, yeah, you don't want to, but what about what's naturally in a person that they can't stop thinking about? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then now you have this unspoken situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Now the gardener don't want to do nothing with the ground now, like, because what he really wants to do, he can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's because something else is going on underneath the surface. So it's like, okay,
you're not gonna get the yield at all.
You're not gonna get the yield.
There's
so it
no
does something.
need to put the work.
Yeah, it's like, oh, whatever. I'm like, and so it's not the ground that you thought, and that can be a disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
And most people, it's because of underlying conditions that's still there sometimes, and they gotta get brought out because that gardener could be sitting next to good land that never prospers,
Mm-hmm.
And I know the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I know it. And I think that, maybe it's a topical thing that we can discuss in the Love Boat series. I don't know, but I know I can speak on it.
Yeah.
But
that was good.
Yeah, that was good.